What's going on, world? You're tuned into the TYSK report, so let's go ahead and dive into these articles that are lined up on the docket. Google DeepMind introduces two Gemini-based models to bring AI to the real world. Google DeepMind recently introduced two new artificial intelligence models, Gemini Robotics, its Gemini 2.0 Advanced Vision Language Action Model designed for robotics, and Gemini Robotics-ER, a Gemini model that offers advanced spatial understanding, enabling roboticists to run their own programs using Gemini's embodied reasoning (ER) abilities. DeepMind said it has been making progress in how Gemini solves complex problems through multimodal reasoning across text, images, audio, and video. Now, with these new models, it's bringing those capabilities out of the digital and into the real world by partnering up with Adhawk to build humanoid robots with Gemini 2.0. Gemini Robotics uses Gemini's world understanding to generalize to novel situations and solve a wide variety of tasks out of the box, including tasks it has never seen before in training. Gemini Robotics is also adept at dealing with new objects, diverse instructions, and new environments, asserted Google. Because it's built on a foundation of Gemini 2.0, DeepMind said Gemini Robotics is intuitively interactive. It taps into Gemini's advanced language capabilities and can understand and respond to commands phrased in everyday conversations and in different languages. The model can understand and respond to a much broader set of natural language instructions than previous models, adapting its behavior to user input. In addition, Gemini Robotics can tackle extremely complex multi-step tasks that require precise manipulation, such as origami folding or packing a snack into a Ziploc bag. Gemini Robotics-ER enhances Gemini's understanding of the world in ways necessary for robotics, focusing especially on spatial reasoning. It also allows roboticists to connect it with their existing low-level controllers. DeepMind said the model significantly improves Gemini's 2.0's existing abilities, such as pointing and 3D detection. Combining spatial reasoning and Gemini's coding abilities, Gemini Robotics-ER can instantiate entirely new capabilities on the fly. It can also perform all the steps necessary to control a robot right out of the box, including perception, state estimation, spatial understanding, planning, and code generation. So this is some very interesting news coming from Google DeepMind, and it looks like they are also throwing their hat in the ring when it comes to the world of robotics. And with these different Gemini-based models, there's possibly going to be companies out there who are building robots who might not have a platform to run on, in which they would be able to use these different models to help the robot learn in the real world. Now, we do have all those legacy companies that I've talked about within the past few weeks when it comes to them building the actual physical humanoid robots, and Adhawk was one of those companies. So I'm very curious to know which route is going to be best for the robotics industry. Is it going to be the companies who are actually building the hardware and the software for the humanoid robots, or is it going to be companies like Google and Adhawk who are actually partnering up to bring humanoid robots to the world, who might have the better strategy and approach when it comes to bringing humanoid robots to the real world? So we shall see what happens as time moves along, and with this only being March, we still have a lot of months ahead of us, so that means a lot of great news is going to be coming down the pipeline in the future. Psyonic to give live demo of its Bionic technology at Robotics Summit. There are currently an estimated 2.1 million people in the US who are missing a limb, according to the Amputee Coalition. Globally, more than 1 million limbs are amputated each year, one every 30 seconds. Robotics experts like those at Psyonic are hoping to apply advanced technology to give individuals missing limbs more independence. Psyonic offers the ability hand, which humans and robots can use. The robotic hand has integrated sensors that detect pressure when the user grips an object. When it detects pressure, the prosthetic sends a vibration to the user's arm to communicate the sensation. This allows users to feel what they're doing so they can work with even the most delicate objects. From developing prosthetics that restore touch and dexterity to integrating robotics for improved human-machine interaction, attendees will be able to learn how this cutting-edge research and innovation is pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The CEO founded Psyonic to create advanced, affordable bionic limbs after meeting a young girl in Pakistan who was missing a limb. The company claimed that the ability hand is the fastest on the market, impact-resistant, and the first to provide a sense of touch. The system is covered by Medicare and is being used by humans and robotics companies globally, including NASA, Meta, Mercedes, and Google. So with this Psyonic Bionic hand, I'm wondering if it can be used to pair up with a humanoid robot that you can have in your home. And what I mean by that is the fact that, let's say for instance, you're doing something like this, making breakfast and cracking an egg. If you're doing that on a consistent basis, with this Psyonic Bionic ability hand, could it be an opportunity to attach it to the humanoid robot, so then as you're waking up, that humanoid robot could take that same arm and follow the same steps that you use to make breakfast, and that way you would be able to have that humanoid robot be another version of you, but just in machine form. Also, this robotics summit and expo is happening April 30th through May 1st in Boston, so if you are in that area and you're interested in the robotics industry, this would be a great event for you to attend. Google set to acquire ultra low power eye tracking startup for headsets and glasses. Google is in final talks to acquire Adhawk, a startup that makes ultra low power eye tracking tech for headsets and glasses, Bloomberg reported. Google's Android platform is set to debut in Samsung's standalone headset, which features internal cameras pointed at your eyes. But sampling and processing multiple cameras each frame is a relatively expensive process from a power, compute, and component cost perspective. Instead, Adhawk's eye tracking system uses a MEMS micro mirror, a tiny electrically actuated mirror, to rapidly sweep a beam of infrared light over your eyes, and a series of simple and inexpensive photosensors measure the intensity of the reflection of this infrared light off your eye. Adhawk says its eye tracking currently runs at 250 Hz tethered or 500 Hz untethered with a latency of 4 milliseconds. Adhawk claims 1 degree of accuracy. The accuracy of the camera-based eye tracking, though, is measured in tenths of a degree. This means that interference elements on devices with this kind of eye tracking, at its current quality at least, might need to be larger and more simplified than what we see in Vision OS and Android XR today. This could make it suitable for future lower-cost Android XR headsets and one day eventual AR glasses. So this is some more interesting news coming from Google, and I'm wondering if this acquisition is going to be used to build their own smart glasses later on down the road. So I'm wondering if they are going to be jumping back into the space after learning everything that they've learned with Google Glass to bring some type of new Google-based smart glasses to the market. General Fusion fires up its newest steampunk fusion reactor. General Fusion recently announced that it had successfully created plasma, a superheated fourth state of matter required for fusion, inside a prototype reactor. The milestone marks the beginning of a 93-week quest to prove that the outfit's steampunk approach to fusion power remains a viable contender. The reactor, called Lawson Machine 26, LM26, is General Fusion's latest iteration in a string of devices that have tested various parts of its unique approach. The company assembled LM26 in just 16 months, and it hopes to hit break-even sometime in 2026. General Fusion's approach to fusion power differs significantly from other startups. Called Magnetized Target Fusion, MTF, it's similar in some regards to inertial confinement, the technique the National Ignition Facility used in late 2022 to prove that fusion reactions could generate more power than was required to start them. But where the National Ignition Facility uses lasers to compress a fuel pellet, General Fusion's MTF reactor design relies on steam-driven pistons. Inside the chamber, deuterium-tritium fuel is zapped with a bit of electricity to generate a magnetic field, which helps keep the plasma contained. The pistons then drive a liquid lithium wall inward on the plasma, compressing it. Whatever LM26 accomplishes, General Fusion still has more work to do. The device doesn't have the liquid lithium wall, instead relying on solid lithium compressed by electromagnets. That limits the number of test runs the company can take, since it takes longer to reset the device. The company has made progress on a prototype of the liquid wall, performing over 1,000 tests to see how it holds up over time, but integrating everything will still be a monumental engineering challenge. So that's just some of the latest news when it comes to the world of fusion energy, and I've been bringing you different articles related to fusion for the past few weeks. With this type of energy, it's definitely going to be coming down the pipeline, and these companies are working very hard to find a way to speed things up and bring it to market very sooner. So with the advancements of technology, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing, we shall see if those resources are going to be utilized to move timelines forward and make this type of energy a reliable source that different countries can rely on. The creators of the Las Vegas Sphere want to open smaller mini spheres. Sphere Entertainment is currently working on the design for mini spheres with a capacity of about 5,000 people, the company's chairman told analysts during an investment call. The Las Vegas Sphere can seat 17,600 people, but attendance can be closer to 20,000 with standing capacity. Smaller versions of the sphere that require less property and parking would not only be much cheaper to build, they could potentially also attract a wider range of artists. Designing and producing the custom video content needed to fill the Las Vegas Sphere interior 160,000 square foot LED screen requires a hefty investment from performers. So far, the venue has hosted established bands like the Eagles, Fish, and U2, who enlisted the help of effects studio Industrial Light and Magic to help create the unique visuals for its Sphere show. The mini spheres would still feature giant wraparound screens and provide similarly immersive experiences as the original venue. During its 40-show residency at the Sphere, U2 recorded one of its performances and created an immersive concert film that's cheaper for fans than seeing the band live. Similar concert films could be screened at the mini spheres, providing more opportunities to recoup the cost of live performances or be created as an alternative to artists performing live. With this news, I do like this idea of creating these mini spheres because I'm sure there are lots of artists out there who would love to have something like this available to them where they can bring their fans to that mini sphere and create that immersive experience using their creativity from their perspective. Also, with something like this, I don't think it's just for artists. Gamers and people who put on conferences could use these mini spheres to hold different events, which would not only help the Sphere Entertainment company, but would also help those people putting on those events bring more visibility to what they're doing. And another thing to point out, not everyone can get to Vegas, so if they did have these mini spheres in different cities, people would be able to travel to them and see their different artists or attend that different event, which I believe would be very beneficial to everyone. Green Lane's flagship electric charging truck stop to open in April. Green Lane, which is building US-wide EV charging infrastructure for heavy-duty commercial vehicles, will open its flagship electric charging truck stop in Colton, California next month. Builder and developer Mortenson is constructing the commercial EV charging facility in Colton, which broke ground last September. It will include more than 40 chargers when it comes online for heavy, medium, and light-duty EVs. In its next phase, Green Lane plans to deploy solar panels and battery storage to enhance grid stability, manage peak loads, and increase energy efficiency. Green Lane, a joint venture between Daimler Truck North America, Next Era Energy, and BlackRock, also debuted its branded digital technology suite as part of its ongoing development of the I-15 commercial EV charging corridor. The tech rollout includes an app that allows drivers to check charger availability and make reservations in advance, a fleet portal that enables fleet managers and dispatchers to plan and manage routes for their electric fleets, and a new Green Lane website. Green Lane also now has on-ramp application programming interfaces, APIs, that integrate with existing fleet solutions, providing fleet managers and drivers access to optimized routes, efficient charging and refueling schedules, and related charging data and emission savings. So that's just some of the latest news when it comes to the world of electric vehicles and their connections to trucks. And it's not too often that we hear about trucks in mainstream media, but we can't forget that they are also making a shift towards electrification and having lots of these trucks run on electric vehicle technology. And even though the current administration is not the biggest fans when it comes to the electric vehicle space, big names like Daimler and BlackRock brings a lot of credibility to the progression of these charging truck stops. OpenAI will let other apps deploy its computer operating AI. Agents are said to be the future of AI, and now OpenAI is trying to help developers build their own. The company is releasing a new responses API that offers building blocks for developers to create agents capable of searching the web, digging through files, and performing tasks on a computer on their behalf. The responses API comes with a web search tool built on the same model ChatGPT uses for search, allowing developers to get real-time information and citations from the web while using GPT-4o and GPT-4o Mini. It also has a computer use feature that similarly uses the company's operator model to perform tasks on a user's behalf. The Responses API also has a tool to search through large volumes of documents, with OpenAI billing it as a way to help customer support agents sift sift through FAQs or for a legal assistant to locate previous cases. Along with the Responses API, OpenAI also announced the Agents SDK, which it describes as a way for developers to orchestrate the workflow of AI agents. The rollout of the Responses API and Agents SDK builds on the existing tools that OpenAI offers to developers, including the Chat Completions API, which let developers build AI tools that offer a response to users' queries. OpenAI is also planning to replace its Assistants API with the Responses API in mid-2026. So with this news, I'm thinking that other companies who provide this type of technology that is similar to OpenAI's is going to go down the same route, giving all these developers access to build their own agents. Also with something like this, I think over time, as the technology gets better and becomes more seamless and user-friendly, different small and medium-sized businesses are also going to be using this technology and having these different agents do different things for them on a day-to-day basis. So that's a wrap for the TYSK report. I hope you enjoyed the video, and to continue to stay informed, as always, like the video, subscribe, check out these two videos right here. Let me know what you think, and stay tuned for the next TYSK report.